Get ready for 2 hours of hard-hitting football talk, straight from their jocks about the jocks. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right, everybody. Hey, it's just a special edition. It's the Super Bowl, so we're sitting there watching the game, kicking back, and we're like, Joe, let's just go live. Why not? Let's talk about this a little bit, just in case you guys are out there and you didn't want to watch the halftime show. I know I'm definitely not right now. So once it started off, I was like, I don't even know what he's saying, just yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to go down here and let's talk some ball. Joe, what do you think? First of all, welcome. And what do you think about the first half so far?
Well, I hope you like quickies because that's his Super Bowl. We always see his defense being played. We kind of alluded to it last week about how it could play out, how the defenses will be stingy for both opposing offenses. And honestly, like you look at the Seattle defense, we told you about these guys. They held New England to 4 first downs, all the entire first half. Um, and and then you look on the flip side of things, the Patriots defense putting that pressure on Sam Darnold that we said could play a factor in this game. And you saw some inconsistencies in his throwing and missing targets. And I get it. Hey, when any quarterback's pressured, you're not going to be the best quarterback you can be. But man, you look at the in the very beginning in the first quarter, Sam Darnold having a guy by himself who broke out of coverage all by himself. That was easy 6, and he just sailed it, completely missing him. So missed opportunities, defenses flying all over the field, and we'll see if that remains true in the second half. These teams are going to make adjustments.
Yeah, Joe. I mean, that's what we've seen so far. It's been defensive back and forth. I think Seattle's both teams. I think New England's fairly fortunate to come out of this thing with the low score right now and still be with only a possession or two out of, getting into this game. And you got to give credit to the defense because the offense hasn't been doing anything and has left them in some terrible situations. Like you said already, they've been pressuring Sam Darnold, and he's been making kind of some, escape emergency throws, but they've been getting batted up in the air. Is so lucky not to have any turnover, especially on that last throw when he tries to hit JSN at the end. And Christian Gonzalez is all over that. And
Absolutely.
What it's looked like for me is Sam Darnold has been the one to kind of take what they give him, and he has up until that point. I swear, I would have dropped it off to, I think Barner was open underneath again, still in field goal range, but something to kind of dink it down, still have some time left, make a shot for the end zone, then do the kick. Instead, he goes for the big ball and almost picked off and still comes out still with the field goal. Lucky there, but Seattle effective on the run. They're able to run the football here. New England unable to make the tackles here after first contact. But what I was very excited about and, can say about New England is defensively in the passing game, being able to wrap up on first contact. A couple of passes down, check downs to Cooper Kupp, getting wrapped right up, not allowing him to move the ball forward and making the first down. Key plays for them. But to get back into this game, I think I heard Devin talk about, hey, they got to play the whole screen pass game. I don't think so. They've been doing that the whole first half so far, and they're not pushing the ball down the field. I say you got to press these guys downfield, make some big chunk plays, or like I said with Seattle, kind of dink and dunk and get it like some screen passes, or not screen passes, slants. He had some slants and some plays that were open. Instead, Drake May checked down and did the screen pass where it gave you like 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. You're not going to get anywhere moving the ball that early.
You saw early success early on in that game by checking it down to that running back because everybody was just vacating and letting that happen. Then they definitely made that adjustment, and then okay, well, you know what? We're not going to drop back as far. We're going to keep an eye on that back, and they made that adjustment for Seattle. I hope you like kickers because right now the MVP has to go to Jason Myers, making three straight field goals and the only one to score. Up to this point. So you mentioned Kenneth Walker and his rushing and 93 yards on the ground. I mean, this guy in the first half has been tearing it up for the Seattle Seahawks. Does that continue? if you're a Patriots fan, you hope not. You hope that, they figure out something on the defense to stop this rushing attack, because that was the number one thing that they wanted to do from the jump. They wanted to force Sam Darnold to have to throw the ball and stop the rushing attack. So far, it hasn't worked out. Maybe in the second half, they make a few little tweaks and then they can kind of take care of that. But also, we mentioned how good both defenses are, but how interesting is it for Devon Witherspoon on certain zone blitzes off the slot and getting a sack, getting a stop, becoming a real menace in the backfield for Seattle. So you got to watch out for maybe some adjustments on the Patriots offensive side. Maybe they keep a tight end in whatever side Witherspoon is on so that they can maybe chip him or at least block him. Create more time in the pocket for Drake May, because here's the problem is I think they want to push the ball down the field at this point. They
Mhm.
want to get Seattle to back off and not create so much havoc in the backfield. But the problem is they just don't have time. We talked about, last week's show about how the weakness on the offensive line is the left side. Jared Wilson at guard, Will Campbell at left tackle. Those guys are simply not able to hold up. We expressed our concerns, and I'll tell you right now, Dexter Lawrence is going to town, literally pushing him right into Drake May, straight up bull rushing. Can't have that. You gotta have either get some help on that side of the ball. You gotta do something differently in the second half.
Yeah, DeMarcus Lawrence making a play there, and Will Campbell on left side, like you were saying too, getting that pressure and kind of allowing Drake May to get pressured on top of it. We saw Drake May make a play, a little bit with his legs here too, and I think for them to be competitive too, you've got to be able to do some of that as well. When nothing's there, I say why not go for it, because you've seen him trying to kind of move around a little bit, escape the pocket, but like you said, also Seattle's been able to kind of lock it down and pressure him on top of it. So, guys, I see you guys are live with us now. I mean, it's only halftime right now, so we have a limited time. So, let your questions be
Right.
know out here. Drop comments. We're talking about it right now. Then we're piecing out. We're gonna get back to this game.
Yeah, we all know our favorite resident Atlanta Falcon fan, that said, "Yo, did y'all see what happened to James Pierce Jr.?"
Mhm,
Yeah, the
mhm.
dude was stupid, got arrested, now he's in even bigger
No,
trouble than
no.
ever, so we'll definitely talk about that more, come next week or whatnot, but, I gotta say, like, it's just yet another bonehead thing.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some more trick plays, especially on New England side if they can't get it going. I mean, we've seen a little bit here for Seattle side to try and do a little something, but don't count New England out, especially with Josh McDaniels there. If they can't get the ball going offensively, they got to do something. But I think body chemistry altogether, offensively, they don't look good either. You've seen Morgan Moses on the team trying to get people amped up and this, but I remembered there was even one kind of slant play that was going to I think it was Douglas even, and Stefan Diggs already had his hands in the like warmer, like on the during the play. Like, what are you doing, buddy? You're in the Super Bowl. Like, get it going. Be part of it. That ball could have went to you at any point. So this is it. Now that we got only one half going, you're like I said, for New England, you're lucky because you're excited that it's only like a small 2-possession game right here, a field goal and a
Right.
touchdown, get you back
Yeah.
into this thing. So luckily your defense has kind of held Seattle at bay here and pressured Sam Darnold, which we were seeing and we were hoping that was going to happen, which is all played out. But New England's
Yeah.
offense really needs to step it up if they're going to get back into this game, because it could be a lot worse than what it is right now.
And that's the thing too, is you gotta make the right adjustments, right? Like, okay, so if the left side is really struggling, and if you got to see what Mike Vrabel said before he went in at halftime, he at the side with the sideline reporter, he was basically like, "Oh, pressure's coming from all sides, not just the left side." Well, if that's the case, then Josh McDaniels needs to make a major adjustment. Maybe you have to go to 12 personnel. Maybe they have to have two tight ends out there on both sides to help with the pressure off the edge. And then maybe you can create some extra time that'll give Drake May to be able to either distribute the football or even take off if need be. So we did see that a little bit where when he had the opportunity, he took off, got some significant yardage, and then it kind of just stopped.
Mhm.
But I think you need to see more of that. A little mix of the pass and Drake May himself being able to utilize his legs If they don't do that or don't make the necessary adjustments to create extra protection up front, this game could get out of reach.
Yeah, and we commented about both defense and what they've been able to do, and kudos especially to New England and keeping JSN at bay as well with not playing man. Just still playing their regular zone that they've been doing, keeping it in check. But Barner kind of seems like a guy that's been the guy to step up too. I know you talked about Josh Myers maybe potentially being the MVP because he's the only one scoring right now, but the only other one really getting catches on Seattle side is their tight end. So that's kind of funny too in our aspect on the Seattle Seahawks type of side here. So
Yeah.
look for that. Does this game in the second half kind of open up as teams start to kind of get desperate to try to make this open up and go for the win here? But I think for the key for New England, again, keep got to try and pound in the rock, try and get that run game going. Because if you don't, Seattle's going to keep pinning the ears back here. But you really got to kind of just, take what they give you. Enough with the screen passes, but, slants, whatever, out routes worked well. I called it on that one play where it was just splits, and it was trips right. Douglas right there for a nice easy out, little dink and dunk plays like that, but still moving the ball up, getting it to a 2nd and 7, a 3rd and 5, something like that. And something that's manageable. Getting back in 3rd and 15 isn't going to cut it. And that's what that whole first half was. So to get back into this game, that's what New England needs to do here to step up.
Yeah, and the only way they're gonna be able to do that is if they make those adjustments offensively. Um, like I said, I the running game's not working,
Mhm.
and this was the goal of Seattle the whole time, especially defensively. They wanted New England has always pride themselves on creating short yardage for 3rd downs and converting on that. But now the role's been reversed. Seattle's doing what they wanted it to happen. They are stopping them behind the line of scrimmage, now creating 2nd and long, now 3rd down and long. And it's hindering their offense, what they like or what they're easily capable of doing, but they're not accustomed to going for it on 3rd and long every single snap or drive, I should say. Um, again, I wonder in the second half if they do in fact start to change the philosophy that they had. I know going into this game, they wanted to establish the run. It's not working. Now maybe you have to throw the ball to open up the run game
Mm,
instead of the run game opening up the passing game.
yeah.
If maybe they get a couple
Yeah.
of those like quick hitters, slants, little out plays, maybe even some screens. I haven't seen too many screens from New England so far to try to drum up some kind of offense and get the Seattle defense stop them from pinning their ears back.
Yeah, I think even tight end screens, get those guys involved because that's kind of been the bread and butter that's got you there too as well. Hunter Henry stepping up. And remember, even another play, they had this dish down, which I thought was a great play to Hunter Henry, but he just lifted off his hands, almost picked off as well. Those type of plays I like too, those little dig routes or whatever. You can take those all day, and I think Seattle's going to give them to them. So I think if New England can do that, they can get back in this game. On the other hand, Seattle, I think again, keep running
Keep
the
doing what
rock.
you're
That
doing.
burns down the clock. What you've been doing. That like
Yeah.
you said, the game's quick. This is going to be a quick game right here once it's all said and done. They're just effectively running the ball. They're not able to get him down on first contact. He's been able to shoot some lanes. Their offensive line is creating some serious lanes for him to go and run through. So he hasn't been asked to do a whole lot, but he's been really, controlling the game here. Kenneth Walker, big game. So at this point, we talked about Josh Myers, but maybe even Kenneth Walker, what he's been able to do kind of in the run game, really been the whole offense to this whole Seattle Seahawks team.
Crazy thing is Sam Darnold just ran for 10 yards in the
There
first
you go.
down.
There you
So
go.
like the game is underway right now,
All
and
right.
it looks like Seattle is definitely driving at ease. They're
Mhm.
getting some running plays, breaking tackles. I mean, this is the problem. If the Patriots and I understand the defense has got to be tired too. Like they've
Yep.
been on the field enough. But somehow, some way, New England's got to find a way to stop them here, and then give their an opportunity for their offense to make a difference here.
All right. So there you go. The game is back underway. Super Bowl halftime. I hope you guys just tuned in quick to check it out. We really appreciate you guys out there, especially all of our know-it-alls has been through it, through thick and thin. We have some special stuff planned for you after the game too as well. I've got some great footage for you guys. Our man Steve Murray is going to be doing some stuff for us here. So sit tight for that. Enjoy the rest of the game. Have some great food, and we'll see you guys all on the next one.